Hello everybody and welcome to Germany. Today it's time for the ninth round of the Formula Racing Championship 2011 season. And after a long break we're back once again. So we can't complete the German Grand Prix for like 2 weeks or even more. I did not count. Again, sorry for that. As there were some problems, I would say. But anyways, we're going to start the race in 5 minutes. So we can make your predictions about who is going to win the race. Okay, it's time to take a look at the starting grid for today's race. And on the front row of the starting grid we have Baked Oven from McLaren and Max Mittler from Ferrari. Starting right behind them are Drabos Daniel from Mercedes, Yuri Gabriel from Red Bull, Abovich from McLaren and Fraser from Ferrari, P7 Aditya Bagus, P8 Berta Kieslin, P9 Erika Libanhanevusa from Sauber, a nice qualifying, uh, like Jose Martinez starting from P10 on Force India. Also had a lot of bad luck in this year's qualifying sessions. P11, the Renault of Santin Drowley, and alongside him starting on the 6th row is Jafar Blackwood, another Force India. P13, Victor Aitken. P14, fantastic qualifying by Colin Chapman from HRT, uh, starting uh, on the 7th row of the starting grid. P15, Jake Tilsley. P16, Wood Charmian. As Samet Oskan has got a 5 places grid penalty for changing the transmission. P17, Adam Hidayat starting ahead of Fernando Tost and his teammate Lionel Messi. P20 Alexander Arnold, Samet Ozkan with the 5 places grid penalty starting on P21, and Emil Nilsson, the HRT driver, is starting last today. At Nürburgring, 45 laps of racing with a good, warm, sunny weather. And let's see who's going to cross the finish line and win the race today. 45 laps, Owen and Smitler on the front row, who's going to take the lead in this race after turn 1. Let's see, as we have 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights and 5 lights. It's lights out and away we go at Nürburgring for the start of the German Grand Prix. Nice start by Beethoven. Also nice start by Max Smitler. Here they come side by side into turn 1, and also look at that. Oh, that's really close, and there is a collision. Beethoven, the pole seater, has got a damage. It looks like the Mercedes behind is retiring. Who's that? Again a massive pile up, and it's Darabas Daniel, who had good chances to take P1 after the turn 1, but look at that. That's all, and his race is over, the same as Santiandreoli's race, and the Ren driver is retiring. Let's take a look at the replay of the race start from Santina's onboard first. He was on P11, trying to avoid the mess here, keeping the outside line, and he's collided with Zaber. I guess it's Eric Hanebusa. Yes, it is. And there also was a Toros driver of Victor Aitken colliding with Santina. And now, what's happened to the Mercedes driver, Daniel? And we start making it into P1 for a moment, and then looks like there was a collision between him and the McLaren of Beethoven. Let's take a look at the replay. Here is Beethoven. His onboard camera, and yeah, there actually was a collision. Two collisions. The first one was a slight touch, but then the rear right tire of Daniel has ripped off his car, and he is out of the race. What about damage for other drivers? Erika Hanabasa without the rear win after a good qualifying session. And looks like that's all. So we have 2 retirements after turn 1. Smitler and Abovich. Abovich actually had a nice start, gaining 3 positions, 4 positions gained by Kieslin, and 5 positions gained by Martinez. Yellow flags in sector 1, and we have Adam Hidayat with on P9 with Lotus, but looks like Jafari is going to try to make the move on him. On that side, no. And he also Beethoven with the front wing damage on the left side, and he's losing a lot of positions after this collision with the Mercedes. And Abovich, of course, sets the fastest lap of the race. He's now on 2nd position, trying to make a move on Smitler, but there is a yellow flag section. Running a bit wide, Max Smitler. Abovich is still on 2nd position, and we have Chapman on P7. Hidayat defended from Blackwood. Toast, Tilsley, Messi, Aitken, Nielsen. Oskan is actually trying to make a move on Nielsen. Really close and they collide. And there is another retirement. And it's the HRT of Nielsen starting from last position while his teammate qualified on P14, and now that's all. The race over on lap 2, gaining 6 positions from the start. Of course not without help of other drivers, just retiring and crashing into turn 1, but here comes the Swedish Taurus driver Samet Oskan trying to make a dive bomb. Nielsen closing the door, and that's the result. The retirement for Nielsen and front wing damage for Samet Oskan. Oven 7.2 seconds speed stop for him. And Liba Erika 3.8. Not bad. Smitler and Tabovic are still fighting for the lead in this race. And looks like we have a battle behind, and it's Hidayah defended from Jafari Blackwood. Hopefully the situation is not going to happen again like in China or in other races when Hidayat was dive bombed or just been hit into his rear wing. And let's see, coming to the chicane. No overtake. It's quite difficult to overtake there. What about the battle for the lead? Abobovic on Smither, very interesting battle. Are they going to collide? No, and that's a brilliant move by Abobovic into the lead of the race. Hidayah defending really well, still on P9. Blackwood cannot do anything to get past the Indonesian driver. Tossed around the inside on Tilsley. Oskan is on the pit lane. Tilsley is still side by side, the Zauber and the Williams, and Tilsley is ahead. Lionel Messi on P14 also not bad, and we have Hidayat, who gained 8 positions from the start. Colin Chapman starting P14, now on P7. Martinez from P10 to P5, also a good result. Oskan 6.7 seconds speed stop. Abovic is pulling away from the Ferrari of Max Mittler. There is already half of a second, and even Yuri Gabriel is trying to make a move on the Welsh driver, the championship leader. Trying to make a move right there, but yes, it's a really bad place to overtake. And the next corner is that chicane, and that's also very difficult to overtake there. And also Bertocchesi might get closer to this battle for the second position. And it's lap 4 of 45 as Abovic crosses the start-finish line. Yuri Gabriel and Max Smith are side by side, coming into turn 1. And luckily, no collision, and Yuri Gabriel gets past the Ferrari driver and makes it up into the second position. Kessin still P4, Martinez P5, Fraser, Chapman, Bagus. Hidayat is still defended from Blackwood successfully. And on P11 we have Armin, then Tilsley, Toast, Messi, Aitken, Arnold, Owen, Eric Leban Hanebusa, Samet Oskan on P11. And looks like Max Smither has a terrible pace after the first couple of laps. He's been overtaken by Abovic and Gabriel. Who's going to be next? Probably is going to be Bertocchesi. And we have a yellow flag. Oh, it's Colin Chapman! A terrible luck for him after staying on P7 for a long time. And there is a retirement for him. And his car is right on the racing line. That's really dangerous. He was on P7, defended from Adityo Bagus, who is also fighting for the championship with Max Mittler. Trying to make a move and just dive bombing him. It's a dirty move by the Indonesian. And looks like Hidayat is going to make it up into P7 because of this collision. And that's the end of the race for another driver. This time it's Chapman. Owen is going to take P16. Erika Hanebus up into P17, and Toscan is going to take P18. Abovic starts the fifth lap of the race, Gabriel second, Smeetler defended from Kieslin, changing their lines, coming into turn 1, luckily no collision as Smeetler is still ahead by running a bit wide there on the exit of turn 1. And now Kieslin is losing some time behind Smeetler as there are 2 seconds between Abovic and Gabriel, then 2 seconds between Gabriel and Smeetler, and also there is probably going to be a battle for P5 between Rosetta Martinez on Force India and much faster Ferrari driver Daniel Fraser. Now the question is, where is Buggers? Buggers is on P16 after this front wing damage, making it into the pits, repairing it, and well, it's only P16 for him. What about the fuel? He has 18 laps of fuel, unlike Oven, Hanebusa, or Oskan. What about Abovic? He has 14 liters. So basically, everybody has 14 liters of fuel at the moment. Only Smeetler has 20, and yeah, and Bagus has 18. Kieslin is getting closer to Smeetler once again, not trying to make a move into turn 1. As it happened last time, but it did not help to make it into the putting places for Kieslin, so he's staying on P4. The chase between Hidayat and Blackwood continues. And probably these are going to be big points for Lotus, hopefully. And I guess we can already say that these 6 laps at Nürburgring by the Formula 1 cars, this racing was much more interesting than almost 30 laps of racing between the Formula Renault cars. And we have some surprises here, like Hidayat moving up into P6, and it's Rosetta Martinez! It's Rosetta Martinez into the wall with a suspension failure! And that's a retirement for the Force India driver. And yes, a fantastic start from P10 to P5, and then it was not even Rosetta's fault, it was suspension failure, unluckily. So only Blackwood is now on P7, and Rosetta Martinez is retiring from the race, unluckily. So looks like we have only 17 cars after these 6 laps of racing. Okay, Martinez's car has been removed very quickly by the marshals. So we can continue the racing. And it's Fernando Tost, the Williams driver, on P10. And talking about the battle for the championship between the uh, between teams like Red Bull and Ferrari. Red Bull drivers are now on P2 and P15. So at the moment, plus so at the moment 18 points are gained for this race by Red Bull, and Ferrari is on P4 and P5. So these are going to be 22 points by Ferrari, and the gap in the championship is going to be increased by 4 points, so it's going to be 6 points instead of 2. But and yeah, it's still a really close battle. But talking about the Drivers' Championship, there is already a 14 points gap between Smeedler and Bagus. Smeedler is now on P4, while Bagus is all the way down on P15. Yes, he has more fuel than others, but he will still beat uh, one more time than other drivers inside the top 10, for example. At the moment we have Messi defender from Victor Aitken, trying to make a move on Lionel Messi. Looks like the gap between Blackwood and Hidayat is increasing, and now it's 8/10 of a second. Messi and Aitken battle for P11. Aitken cannot make the move for stick, but yeah, at least no contact happened there between these two. And also looks like Bagus is a bit faster than Beethoven, despite he has some more fuel in his fuel tank at the moment. And probably he's going for an overcut. .7 between Abosh and Gabriel, 1.8. The battle between Lotus and Toros cars continues. Is there going to be a move on the main straight or into turn 1? Anyways, here comes Victor Aitken, catching the slipstream behind this Lotus. But no, looks like the Ferrari power unit is not really good at the main straight today, like the Renault power unit. As we have Hidayat on P6 on Lotus, and if there is going to be something happening inside the top 10, like somebody retiring, so this is going to be another Lotus in top 10 probably. Yeah, still quite difficult to overtake here at the Nürburgring, like Hockenheim, where there are a lot of overtaking spots, like turn 1, turn 2, but Victor Aitken is trying to do something, running over the curb and losing a lot of time. And here comes Arnold, probably he's going for a move on the Toro Rosso, as Williams is looking really good today, P10 and P13. As they need a lot of points to improve in the championship. They are around P9 at the moment, fighting only with Lotus, 18 points by Williams and 17 by Lotus. And then there is a huge gap between P8 and P9. HRT has 43 points and only 18 by Williams, as I said already. So looks like Lotus is going to overtake Williams in the championship after this race. .5 seconds between Messi and Aitken already after this huge mistake by Victor as he was trying to overtake in the chicane. And as a result, Arnold has got closer to him. Is Fraser getting closer to Smitler? And looks like yes he is. 100th by 100th of a second getting closer, but yes, it's already less than a second between these two at Ferrari. What about the pit stops? I guess they're going to start in 3 laps. So we have Blackwood with 5 liters of fuel, Armin with 4.7 liters of fuel, 5 liters by Telsley, by Messi, and by your Gabriel. 7/10 of a second already between Fraser and Smitler, so yeah, looks like the gap between these two is decreasing, and we might have battle for the position there, as both of them are on different strategies, as Smitler has 30 liters of fuel while Daniel has just 7 liters. Talking about their pace, Fraser was 1/10 of a second faster than Max. Less than 1 second between Messi and Aitken is already using DRS. More than a quarter of the race is already finished, as Aboshi is starting the 14th lap of the race. And the gap between the leaders is still 1.6. It was 1.7, 1.8 seconds before. Already less than half of a second between Ferrari drivers in the battle for P4. And what about the pit stops? Can we say anything? No, we can't. As probably is going to be Gabriel entering the pit lane next lap, as he has just 3.5 liters of fuel. And looks like Fraser was trying to make a move, as he was changing his line there, but it did not work. He's still on P5. Another chance, but no, that the track is too narrow to overtake. And he's going to overtake here, but it's not going to happen. No, it's not. He's just losing some time. Not like in the chicane, but let's see. Here they come into the chicane, running over the curb, and probably there's going to be a battle at the main straight. And let's hope that there is going to be no collision. Here they come, side by side. Fraser using the DRS, and from the inside, here comes Daniel Fraser. Max Meter runs wide, and Fraser takes the 4th position in this race. Yeah, that was a nice move there. By the British driver overtaking Smitler. And what about the pit stops this lap? Yuri Gabriel is staying out, and we have Jafari Blackwood going for an undercut on Adam Hidayat, the same as Vucci Sharman and Jake Tilsley. Also Lionel Messi on P11 is going to undercut Victor Aitken, who's trying to overtake him for 10 laps straight. Then looks like nobody else. So let's take a look at Jafari Blackwood as he is completing the middle sector of the track, and he is now currently the only Force India racing today, and he's on P7, coming to the chicane, and then to the pit lane entry. By the way, the gap between Abosh and Gabriel decreased, and now it's 1.3 seconds. But anyways, here comes Jafari Blackwood, the first mandatory pit stop today by the Force India driver. Anybody behind? Yes. 2 more cars, Vucci Sharman and Jake Tilsley, and the first one to complete the pit stop probably is going to be Jafari Blackwood. Let's see. Changing the tires, and looks like it's going to be Blackwood held up, and it's just 6.1 with 4.7 by Vucci Sharman, 5.5 by Jake Tilsley, and it's going to be Lionel Messi with 6.5. Problem on the pit stop. Erika Hanebos is going to have a battle with her teammate with Jake Tilsley. Lionel Messi is rejoining the track right ahead of Summit Oscan. And it's Yuri Gabriel with 1.3 seconds gap between Abosh and Yuri, and Gabriel, the Red Bull driver, is entering the pit lane to make his first pit stop in this race. Let's see if it's going to help him or it's going to increase the gap between the leaders, but anyways, let's take a look. And it's 4.9. Actually not bad. Here we have Toro Rosso and a Super Pit Crew, I guess. But it's going to be 4.9 by Yuri, and he's going to rejoin the track on P6, P7 Fernando Dost, then Victor Aitken, Arnold, Owen, Bagus, Armin, Blackwood, Tilsley, and Eric Hanebusa is going for the pit stop. By the way, what about other drivers? Yes, Summit Oscan is also in the pits, Beethoven is pitting, Kessin is pitting, and also Hidayat is pitting. Aitken, Arnold, Owen, yeah. And looks like that's all. Here is Eric Hanebusa, and it is going to be a pit stop by 6.3 seconds. What about the Toros driver of Summit Oscan? It's going to be 6.8, slower by half of a second. Anyways, here comes Berta Kieslin, and he's beating this lap. Looks like Aposh is going to be the next lap. And we're going to see if the tactics of Red Bull and Mercedes are going to work. Changing the tires, the fuel and it's 6.3. Hidayat in the pits. And it's going to be probably the decisive moment of the race for Hidayat. No, there are going to be more pit stops incoming. So probably everybody is on to pit stops tactics. And it's 5.2, a fantastic pit stop compared to Bertagessen. Also Victor Aitken here, and it's 5.6, Arnold 5.9, Owen 4.7, but he's going to be right behind Arnold. Messi is here, Erika Hanebusa is not beaten, Oskan is not beaten, and here comes Abovic, completing the middle sector by half of a second slower than the fastest lap. By slower than his personal best, and he's in the pits. Actually, here is Fraser, he's also pitting, and probably Smithler is going to take P1, but he has not pitted yet. And yes, he takes the lead, Bobovic, and it's 5.6, Fraser, oh! And it's Bobovic, stopping on the pit lane, and that's some drama for McLaren. What's happened there? And he realized that there is Fraser, but it was not necessary to stop on the pit lane. And probably it's going to be a race win robbed for Abovic, as Kieslin is on P3 and Gabriel on P2. Look at this gap. 6.3 by Fraser. Bacchus is on P6, but he has to pit in 2 laps probably. Tost is on the pit lane, losing some positions. At the moment he's on P9, 5.4, not bad for by Williams pit crew, and he's going to be outside the top 10, probably on P12 or P13, and it's going to be P12 or P11. No, it's going to be P11, he's right ahead of Victor Aitken. Lionel Messi P13, then Arnold and Owen fighting for P14, Erika Hanebas P16, and Samit Oskan on P17. Any pit stops incoming this lap? Looks like no. And we have Max Mittler on P1. What about pit stops? He has not pitted yet, he was going for an overcut, and he's the only one without any pit stops. That's some interesting tactics. Gabriel second, Kieslin third, and Bobovic on P4. That's it, lap 20 or 45. Owen gets past Arnold. I think we shall take a look at this move by the McLaren driver. The pole seater on the inside, and yes, that's the move done. And now the gap between Gabriel and Abovic is going to be nearly 6 seconds. Smittler starts lap 21 of 45. And it's DJ Bagus beating this lap with less than 2 liters of fuel. Entering the pit lane, Abush says the fast lap 128.828. And DJ Bagus is going to lose some positions after this undercut as he was on P6. And it's going to be his second pit stop. 5.3, not bad. And he's going to be on P11. Or even P12. Or P14. Or P15. Yes, it's P15. Anyways, Beethoven makes the move on Lionel Messi. And Pagos has a traffic of Arnold and Messi ahead. Probably also Owen. I don't know if his pace is going to be better than the pace of Beethoven, who is now on P12. Pagos is going for a move on Arnold. Yes, he is, but he is too far away to do something in this battle. And what about our race leader? And looks like he's going to pit at the end of the next lap. Bugs is really close to move up into P14 in this race. And looks like it's going to be Max Mietler starting the second half of the race in a couple of minutes. Is Bugs going to overtake this Williams at the main straight? Well, let's see. Getting the slipstream, opening the DRS right behind the Williams driver, side by side at the main straight, coming into turn 1, down the inside at DJ Bagos, but no, Arnold is faster, losing a bit of time, going a bit wide, but he is still defending really well from the Indonesian Red Bull driver, and now he's still on P14. Talking about Max Mietler, he completes the lap number 22 and starts, as I've already said, the second half of the race. And I guess he's going to pit at the end of this lap, and yes, he is. Also, Blackwood has lost a bit of time on the pit lane, and he's lost the position to Wood Sherman. Any other pit stops? Looks like no. And Buggers is going for an overtake once again, and once again it's a fail. Buggers and Arnold side by side. From the inside comes the Red Bull driver, and it's going to be P14 after the second attempt of making the move into turn 1. And now he's on P14. Smittler is pitting, let's take a look. Completed the chicane, and where's he going to be after this pit stop? Here comes your Gabriel to take the lead in this race. Kesslin takes P2, Abush P3, but anyways, Max Mietler is on the pit lane. 5.8, not bad. And it's going to be P5, right ahead of Adam Hidayat. Oh, and it's Victor Aitken pitching as he's lost the wheel. That was unpredictable actually. And he's going to lose much more time, as it's probably a race to forget for Toro Rosso. For Victor Aitken. What about gap between Gabriel and Kieslin? It's still 2.9, so basically almost 3 seconds. And Victor Aitken is now all the way down on last position on P17, right behind his teammate Samet Oskan. P16, P17 for Toro Rosso, and last position in the Constructors' Championship. And wait a minute, looks like Max Mietler is running on one pit stop strategy. Yes, he is. And that makes things more interesting, as the gap between Gabriel and Smittler is 21 seconds. So probably there is going to be a China 2011 once again, but well, let's see. Smittler has enough time to complete the race with just one pit stop. Any interesting battles at the moment? Let's see. And yeah, we have only Oven fighting with Toast. The battle between the gap between Bagus and Messi is already 2 seconds. So let's see if there is going to be a move by Oven on Fernando Toast. Bagus says the fastest lap, 128.752. Oven is trying to do something. Coming to the corner on the inside, side by side, and Oven is ahead of Toast, and he makes it up into the points zone, as he is now on P10. And talking about his pit stops, he has pitted twice, and that's interesting. Also 2 pit stops by Buggers, but he's on P12. So despite the damage and 2 pit stops, as he's going for a 3 pit stop strategy, it Oven might get some points today. 2.5 seconds between Gabriel and Kieslin. And talking about the calendar, the next race is going to be at Hungaroring. That brought us some interesting race in last season. With, if I'm not mistaken, Fraser and Kieslin colliding while fighting for the win. And also, when Abovich was leading the race, he crashed and caused the red flag. And it was such an interesting race. After the Hungarian Grand Prix is going to be another F1 Formula Renault weekend, and it's going to be at Spa-Francorchamps. Then it's going to be a second Formula Renault weekend in a row. It's going to be at Monza. Then it's going to be the last European round of the championship. Then 5 races at Asia and South America. And yes, looks like Kieslin is getting closer to Yuri Gabriel in this battle for the lead, as it's already 2.3, as it was 2.5 moments ago. Vargas is trying to make a move on Toast, as another driver who is on the 3-piece of strategy today, and is there going to be a move done? And trying to change the line, but no. Probably there is going to be an overtake into turn 1. Lap 29 of 45. Here comes Aditya Vargas. Side by side with Toast with a slipstream for Aditya from the inside, and it's P11 for Vargas. And yes, we're going to have a piece of starting like in 1-2 laps time. I guess it's going to be interesting. As here come our race leaders, Gabriel, Kieslin, and Abovich. Abovich is going for an undercut, as he has 3 liters, 4 liters for Gabriel and 5 liters by Berta Kieslin. And yes, Abovich beats this lap. Gabriel and Kieslin are staying out. Fraser is staying out. Smitler is not beaten. I guess that there are going to be no more pit stops. Oh, yeah, and also Oscar is going to pit at the end of the next lap, as he is now on lap 29. Abovich is entering the pit lane, and let's take a look at his pit stop. Fraser is going to take P3 for a moment. And it's Abovic in the pits. .6.2, not the fastest pit stop. And he's even going to be on P5 after being overtaken by Max Mittler. So looks like Max might finish ahead of Abovic. So that means that he has a chance to overtake Gabriel and Kieslin. As Gabriel is pitting this lap, let's see what's going to happen with this crazy idea of one pit stop. And we have Owen and Tysley in the battle for P9, but Tysley is ahead of the British driver, of Beethoven, our pole sitter. Bagus P11, then Tost, Messi, Arnold, Hanebusa, Aitken and Oskan. Oskan is in the pits, and the Ferrari pit crew is preparing as it's Fraser on P3 entering the pit lane. But first, the pit stop of Samet Oskan from Toro Rosso. And it's going to be 5.4, he's already lost. And here comes Yuri Gabriel to lose the lead of the race, and takes Berta Kieslin up into P1. And Oskan being overtaken by Kieslin, the first driver overtaken by a lap is Oskan, and it's only on lap 32. 5.9 by Yuri Gabriel. The next one is Daniel Fraser. What about Max Mittler? Is he going to take P2? Is he going to take P2? Is he going to take P2? Probably, but no! Yuri Gabriel is ahead. And looks like the chances for winning the race for Max Mittler are ruined, as he's on older tires. Yuri Gabriel has fresher tires, and even Berta Kieslin is going to beat this lap, so probably it's going to be impossible to win this race for the Welsh driver. Hirat is pitting this lap, Armin pitting this lap, and Fraser is trying to overtake the Renault driver. Also Blackwood pitting, Owen pitting, Bagus pitting, Toast pitting, Messi not pitting, Arnold not pitting, Hanebusa pitting, Aitken staying out, and here comes Berta Kieslin, our race leader. And Sam Toscan is overtaking Berta Kieslin. Let's see if Yuri is going to take P1, as it might be the decisive pit stop of the race. Let's take a look at that. .9, a fantastic pit stop by Berta Kieslin's pit crew, and most likely he is going to be P1. Probably, but here comes Yuri Gabriel. They are side by side, but Yuri takes P1. Berta Kieslin side by side with Max Mittler, not side by side but he is ahead of the Ferrari driver on one pit stop strategy. Abovic on P4, and looks like Max Mittler is not going to fight for a win, but he is going to fight for a podium with Abovic, who is now on P4 and losing 3 seconds to him on fresher tires. Fraser P5, then Tysley, Hirat in the Ps, 4.6, fantastic, fantastic! He's going to be on P9, P7 Messi, P8 Arnold, Blackwood, 4.7. And these are really good pit stops. Bagus 4.8, 5.5 only by McLaren, and 4.7 by Renault. Victor Aitken P13, Owen P12, Toast P15, and Eric Leban and Hanebusa only 6.2. Probably Oscar is going to be ahead of her, but I'm not sure. No, he is not. Erika on P16 and Oscar is last. And the gap between Smittler and Abovic is already 1.5, as it was 3 seconds just a lap ago. After the lap number 33 is going to be 1.3 Another 2/10 of a second gained by the Russian. Fraser p5, Tasley is in the pits, Messi in the pits, he's on p7. Arnold in the pits, and it looks like, yeah, that's all. So let's take a look. And hopefully we are not going to miss the battle for the podium. As this is also a battle for big points between Sauber, uh, Williams and Lotus. Tasley p7, he has up into p6. What about Messi? He's also in the pits. But no, Oven is on p10, p9 Tasley, Bios is ahead. Bios is ahead of uh, Jake Tasley, p11, Aitken, Van Armin, Toast, Arnold 6.3, p14, Messi p15, only p15, Smitler and Abovich between them. There's just 1 second. And 12, less than 12 laps remaining. Less than a second already, 0.9 seconds. And the gap between Kessler and Smitler is already 3 seconds. And that's a difference in the speed of dead tires and the fresh tires. As Sabosh is also faster. And talking about the battle for the win, it's 1.8 between your Gabriel and Kessler, not that much time. So, probably we're also going to have a battle for the win today. On the final laps. We'll also have a battle there. Tesla and Oven. But, well, the most important right now is Abovich and Smitler fighting for the podium. The 2010 title contenders. But Abovich won that time. Who's going to win this battle? Smitler or Abovich? Smitler is fighting for the championship, while Abovich is fighting for top 5, as he's now on p6. And oh, by the way, he's fighting with Daniel Fraser, and Daniel's on p5. And there's just 1 point between Fraser and Abovich. Abovich is really close, he might make the move already at the main straight. Probably, here they come, but no. No, that was not going to happen. Oven is still behind Tilsley in this battle. And there's also another battle behind. And that's Abovich and Smitler. Less than a half of a second between them. And looks like somebody pits. And it's Victor Aitken. And he is going to be down to P15 or even P16. A disaster race for Toro Rosso is going to be P16 for them. Even Sam Toscan gets past his teammate. Or is he? Yes, he is. But anyways, here comes Sabovic into sector 3, complete the chicane and the final corner, and they make it to the main straight to decide who's going to be on the third place on the podium today. But it's still not enough to Aboich to get closer. He has a slipstream, he has a DRS, but it's still not enough. He's getting much closer. Lap 37 or 45 already, and it's still 1.8 between Gabriel and Keslin. Tassi and Novan are still fighting. Tassi is changing the line. But Look at that. Look at that. Abosh is really close. And that's one of the overtaking spots. From the inside comes Abovic. Smithler trying to close the door. Really close. But Smithler around the outside. Defending his position. And he stays on P3. Here comes Bobovic trying to do something into the chicane. And no. As Smithler still ahead. But Smithler slowing down. Abovic as he runs wide. A bit. And here they come down the main straight. The biggest chance of the race for Abovic to take this P3 is right now. Here they come side by side into turn 1. Abovic around the inside and really close, and he takes P3. He takes P3 overtaking Max Smithler. On one piece of strategy, he was ahead of Abovic for 5, for 6, for 7 laps, but he is going to finish behind him with 8 laps remaining. What about also Bagus? He's trying to make a move on Blackwood, and Blackwood is going to be down to B8 sadly, and Owen gets past tightly into turn 1 using the area slipstream and everything he can. Still 2 seconds between Kieslin and Gabriel. Abovic and Smithler already more than half of the second between them after just one sector. Or 2 sectors, okay. Gabriel starts 39th lap of the race, and the race is close to the end. Talking about the championship once again and the battle for the win in the championship, Max Miller is on P4, while Bagus made his way through the field from almost the last position to P7, and that's fantastic. But still, Max Miller is going to finish ahead of Bagus once again. But talking about the Constructors Championship, we have Red Bull P1 and P7. So it's 31 points for Red Bull and 22 points for Ferrari. So basically Red Bull is going to take the lead in the Constructors Championship again. And Gabriel starts 40th lap of the race, just 6 laps remaining. Not that many battles for positions right now. Only Bagus can get past Hidayat. And let's see what's going to happen in these final 6 laps. And also talking about Berto Kiesin, who is now on P3, he's going to get closer to this battle for the championship. And probably, as there are just 12 points between Bagus and Kieslin after the Great Britain, after the race at Silverstone, and Kieslin scores 18 points today, and Bagus scores just 6. It's going to be equal points for Bagus and Kieslin after today's race. If only Buggles does not get past Hidayat to keep the second position in the championship. Five laps remaining in this quite exciting race, with a lot of battles, especially for the podium, between Nabosh and Smitler, but Smitler has lost this battle. Of course, he had just one pit stop, and the tactics basically worked, even if he has lost 2 positions from the start after starting second, but still not bad, as he keeps his championship lead after this race. Bagus is about to overtake Hidayat. Is it going to happen or not? Hidayat was defended really well from the Force India of Jafari Blackwood at the start of the race, but it's not Force India, it's Red Bull, one of the best cars on the grid this season. And they are fighting for the championship, fighting for the drivers, for the Constructor Championship. And it's going to be really difficult to defend from such a car like this. Especially when there is a driver battling for the championship. Aditya Bagos, who has to keep the second position in the standings. So let's see, just 5 laps. Not just 5, it's going to be like a marathon for Adam Hidayat, as it's really difficult to defend here. Here he comes, round the inside, Aditya Bagos, it's going to be the move done. No, it's Caterham still ahead. 4 laps remaining. That's going to be a really interesting battle for 8 points in this race. 8 points is a really big amount of points for Lotus, but that's nothing for Red Bull. But talking about Red Bull fighting for Constructors and for Drivers' Championship, these 2 points can mean a lot. And also Hidayat has gained 11 positions from the start of the race and a fantastic pace throughout the whole race. As here comes Bagus on Hidayat, using slipstream, using DRS, and now down the main straight into turn 1. Aditya Bagus gets past Adam Hidayat, and Adam is down to P7. But anyways, it's just fantastic race for him. From P17 to P7. But also it's an overtake by Aditya Bagus, so he's going to be ahead of his rival Berta Kieslin in the battle for the second position by just 2 points. Okay, Yuri Gabriel starts lap 43 and there's going to be 3 laps remaining. If you want to commentate, just join our Discord server and join Raystream's voice chat. So just if you're interested. Anyways, Yuri Gabriel and Berta Kieslin were probably fighting for the win today, but there are just 2 seconds between them. And they were on the same strategy today. Abuch P3 he had slightly different. Never mind. And Smitler is on P4, P5 Fraser, then Buggers, Hidayat. Blackwood defended from Owen. Owen has got 3 pit stops today. Trying to make a move, baked oven, no. Jafar is still defending. There is a battle for P8 for 4 points. And who is going to take this P8? Is it going to be Blackwood? Is it going to be Owen? Well, let's see. Just a bit more than 2 laps remaining for them. And probably the move is going to be done at the main straight into turn 1, as most of drivers do. Most of overtakes today happen into turn 1. And here comes Beethoven using the DRS into turn 1. Oh, and they collide! What a drama! And it's going to be Jake Tilsley on P8, and it's the race over for Beethoven. No points for him. Wood Charmin is going to take P9. Jake Tilsley is going to take P8, and well, probably Beethoven is going to take P10. But I guess there's going to be a penalty for him. Let's take a look at the replay. What's happened? A dive bomb by Beethoven. Bad dive bomb. So that's why Jafar Blackwood is going to lose potential points for him. And for the team, it's going to be a 10 seconds time penalty for Beethoven. And probably it's going to be Fernando Tost taking this P10 today. Probably, but there are just 5 seconds between the McLaren and the Williams. Well, it's the final lap of the race, and there is just 2 seconds between Gabriel and Kieslin. Gabriel was leading throughout the whole second half of the race, winning the race because of the mistake on the pit lane by Abobovic, just stopping on the pit lane. And well, Berta Kieslin is going to get closer to Aditya Bugs in the championship, as the gap between them is going to be just 2 points. Okay. And Blackwood is not beaten. Blackwood is not beaten. And that's interesting how he's going to drive for the whole lap without the front win. But anyways, here comes Yuri Gabriel to win another race in his Formula 1 career. But I'm moving from HRT to Red Bull. There's going to be another win for him and another win for Red Bull. And Red Bull is going to take the lead in the Constructors' Championship. Bertagese finishing second and Apovic finishing on third position, and it's a podium for him once again. P4 for Max Mittler on one pit stop strategy, and another Ferrari, his teammate Daniel Fraser, is finishing on P5. P6 for Aditya Bagos, who keeps his second position in the Drivers' Championship. P7, fantastic drive by Adam Hidayat, gaining 10 positions from the start. For a moment being on P5, then fighting with Aditya Vargas, and now it's going to be P7 for him, and 6 points for him and his team. P8, Jake Tilsley, points for Sauber, P9, points for Renault, and with 10 seconds time penalty is going to be Beethoven, finishing P10, but probably he's going to be classified on P11. As here comes Fernando Tost. Let's take a look at this gap between Fernando and Baked, and it's going to be less than 10 seconds, and Tost takes this P10, as there is just 7 seconds between them. Arnold finishing P12, Messi P13, after fighting with Eric Hanebus on the final lap. Sammy Toscan P15, Aitken P16, and Jafari Blackwood unluckily finishing last today because of the front wing damaged. Yeah, that's all for today's race. Now we're going to take a look at the full race results, and then listen to the Brazilian and Austrian anthems. Okay, Yuri Gabriel, Berta Kestin, and Apovic are on the podium today, then two Ferraris, Aditya Bagus, Adam Hidayat, Jake Tilsley, Woods Charmin, Beethoven, Fernando Tost, Alexander Arnold, Lionel Messi, Erika Hanebusa, Samit Oskan, Victor Aiken, Jafari Blackwood are the ones who finished the race. And there are also five retirements. Rosetta Martinez because of the suspension, and then Chapman because of the crash. And Nielsen and Hurley and Daniel uh, crashed into turn 1 on lap 1. Now it's time to listen to the national anthems of Brazil and Austria. Well, that's it for the race today. Now it's time to take a look at drivers' fastest laps, and it's going to be one additional point for Aditya Bagus. And well, that's all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following our championship. Even if there was, even if there were a lot of breaks for a week, for more than a week. Your commentator today was Rus Pro. See you next time at Hungarian for the qualifying session of the FRC Hungarian Grand Prix.